Hey, welcome back. What the? Oh, yeah, that guy was lured into that.
A fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Salve, Rufus. I hear your rheumatism has you so riled up you've been harassing Virgil.
What? My condition is nobody's business but mine.
There's no need for that. I just wanted to give you this willow bark to help you treat it.
A treatment? Really? Thank God. Finally, some relief after all this time. Thank you, Galerius. You're a good man. And I'll be sure to leave Virgil alone. I know I haven't been at my best lately.
Appreciate that. Now, I've got to run. Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them?
Just a lucky guess.
You're a bit... Sisyphus, he was forced...
Yeah, we went through this. Oh yeah, at least there's that.
Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. Anytime. Now, I'm going to keep... Oh, and if our...
Yes, okay.
Greetings and salute greetings. I'm Giorgio. My... I knew this day would come. I do not wish to lie to you, my friend, but even discussing this matter is dangerous. Please, let us leave the live coals safely beneath the ash.
You can trust me, we foreigners have to stick together,
Very
remember?
well, but the magistrate would not look kindly upon this, so please keep it to yourself. For several months now, I have been sneaking out at night to worship the gods of my ancestors in the temple of Demeter. Each day, I leave offerings of food, in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest, and yet the next day when I return, the food is missing.
Huh. How is that a problem? How
So
strange.
I ask, who or what is devouring the food in this temple? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to see if I could spot a thief going in. But do you know what I saw? Nothing. Nobody entered. And yet when I went to take a look, my offering was gone. It is bizarre, is it not? When I told my friend Kabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. He went in, and to my dismay, he was never seen again.
That's creepy.
It is the only Greek temple in the city. Head towards the baths, and it is the last building on your right. I do not think you should pursue this, my friend. It would break my heart to be responsible for two people disappearing. But you do not strike me as a kind of person to be deterred by such warnings, so just be careful, I beg you.
Okay. So I'm making progress. Son of a gun. Huh. Search the tunnels. Alright. A harp? A lyre. Hey, kitty. Yo.
You carry the gift of Prometheus in your hand. Remarkable. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
Let me just...
It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here? Ah, yes, that cursed thing. I know exactly where it is. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die
Oh,
is
God.
a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule? Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue? Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong? You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. That's probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the Golden Rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult. Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable, because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree?
Whose version of right and wrong? Am I supposed to, like,
That is an
overthink it?
excellent question, and it leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing? How can that be? Since they all have differences, it follows that in some cases they would offer different conclusions about what is right and wrong. If there is a correct moral code, then wouldn't it follow that only one can be the correct one?
I don't know if I'm supposed to be answering sincerely or...
Ah, you know, I think you'd find an ally in Herodotus, a scribe from a
I'm just trying to sound
who
smart.
lived some 400 years ago. He told the story of a man named Darius, whose curiosity was piqued when he learned that a certain tribe had the practice of eating their dead. He asked some Greeks who burnt their dead, what would it take for you to eat your dead? Aghast, they replied, nothing. Then he asked them who ate their dead, what would it take for you to burn your dead? Nothing, they replied, equally aghast.
From this, Herodotus concluded that custom is king, that right and wrong are merely local ideas which do not survive the journey from one tribe to another. I take it you're in agreement? Then let me ask you this. If you visited a tribe where they ate each other, copulated with the dead and drank wine from cups made out of human skulls, would you still maintain that within such a tribe there is nothing wrong with such conduct? And that's a credit to you. It is the mark of a civilized person to change their position when presented with a superior argument. My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong. Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an exception may be made, such as where it is necessary for self-defense or to prevent a greater evil. For any rule, you can imagine there are countless situations in which that rule may be suspended. Those situations are impossible to codify. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
Sure, why not?
I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions. You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story. I was a quarrelsome old man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night, I found myself in a tavern, in an argument with a drunk mercenary. It became heated. He drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny.
I want to know where everyone else is
I'm
first.
afraid I'm the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago.
Oh, he's not
I've not
Kabash.
seen another person in many, many years. They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades. My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished the job. and he'd send them after me again. I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive. Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation. So I like to imagine arguments, where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner. As you wish. You seek the plaque bearing the Egyptian inscription. It is a cursed object, and I would be happy to give it if Kabash had not already taken it. I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans.
With you so far.
However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me, and it is the very thing you see. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription. We had no idea until years later, when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail. There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate. Ha! If I did, would I be living like this? Did we not discuss it at length already?
Yeah.
I enjoyed our chat.
Absolutely. Thank you for helping out.
Ah, you've returned.
That's him at the end. No, that's a gold statue. Oh! A mummified golden statue? Edge and plaque. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. Ah. Where is this one? That looks like an actual guy.
Stop. Do not come any closer. Who are you? I am Kabash. And let me guess. Another Greek or Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors, Trousers, boots, curious here. No, I suppose you do not. Then what do you want? To what end? That is welcome news. You really are not Greek or Roman, are you? I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain. Here, take it, and restore the honor of Osiris.
Hey, you're not so bad.
Now, as for the other plaque. Indeed, I have it right here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was. You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it. Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie. I will tell you, but first, do you know what this place is? It has a name, and that is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story. And here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined, and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers. But instead of adopting our ways, they copied and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Keron. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing Osiris's name. But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this, I cannot accept. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once more. You will never know. This work of sacrilege must be destroyed, thrown into the black abyss below in Osiris's name. You are too late. It is done. It could not have gone any other way. It was Osiris's will. Now, the thing of evil you sought is gone. Why are you still here? I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alexandria, the name of the city the Greeks built over it. I was a fisherman, like my father before me. Since the Romans had taken over from the Greeks, I took the opportunity to learn Latin, and eventually traveled to Rome. When the fires broke out last year, I tried to help. I gathered terrified locals into my boat and led many of them to safety farther along the Tiber. On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait for his brother. But we were full to almost sinking, and smoke was all around us. I told him his brother would have to save himself, and he tried to bribe me by placing a coin into my hand. When I refused, he drew a dagger and thrust it between my ribs. I awoke on the banks of the river to a stranger wearing a ram headdress. He said his name was Kerti, and at the time, I simply thought him odd. It did not dawn on me until much later that he was the Kerti, the ram-headed ferryman described in the Book of the Dead. I do not know. What could possibly lie beneath the underworld? Perhaps it is infinite darkness. Perhaps it is the lair of Amit, the devourer of souls. All I know is, it would be unwise to venture down there. Is everyone so contrary where you are from? Do not even consider it. I think if someone is to break the golden rule, it will not be me. For I try to live as I always have by the command of the goddess Ma'at. Do to the doer to make him do. As for the punishment that will come from it, I finally understand why it has long been said among my people that gold is the skin of the gods.
He doesn't know a way out.
This is where I belong, as caretaker of the memories of my people. If our ways are to be remembered, it falls to me. Good. Be gone from... Wait. You are planning to go down there. I see it in your eyes. You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. Madness.
You shouldn't have put it there.
We shall see.
That's crazy. So I just got 2 plaques. But... got 2 more to go. Ow. Did I just die? Yep. Gotta be more careful. Is this like a booby trap place? Because I saw like thorns in the water.
When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That was a promise. You will die here. I disagree. I warned you against coming down here, against perpetuating this sacrilege. But you persisted. You have undermined and dishonored the true god of the underworld. How did you think this would end, if not with bloodshed? Very well, I will listen. But if I sense deception, or if you further insult my gods, I will carry out my threat. So tell me, why should I let you live after you salvaged this instrument of blasphemy?
If something can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. I mean, that's true. There's no shame in building on the works of people who came before you.
Why? To what end? But why? What business could you have with Osiris? Blasphemous fool! You have sealed your own fate. Ha, good. I welcome it. You see, the philosopher told me that each time it breaks, Osiris bellows with rage, and his voice shakes the very foundations of the earth. I can only hope one more tremor will lay waste to this
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Jeez. I need to talk my way out of this. I already auto-saved, but I'd like to manually save too.
When I told that, you will. I disagree. You. Why? Why? But what? Blasphemous fool!
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
So I have to say I'm gonna kill him? Or do I have to lie and say I'm gonna pay my respects?
You. Why? But blasphemous, suicidal. You.
I don't even see where he is, though.
For the sins of the one.
Yeah, I kind of want to convince him, though.
But that makes no sense.
Hello. How are you? Hungry. Good. Well, you should eat. Well, I'm trying to get out of here.
Now that I think about it, my people would sometimes call Osiris the god of many names. Perhaps it is so. But the underworld of my people is so different to this one, and so unlike the way it was described by our priests. Many of my ancestors endured great hardship to live good lives so that we may descend to the Duat in death and be judged accordingly. We prepare to have our hearts weighed on Anubis' scales and to swear ourselves innocent of sin before the 42 assessors of Ma'at. And yet, I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead contained only a seed of truth. And now, I ask myself, Did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an older people and feed us lies all our lives simply to trick us into obedience? I am not sure I follow. Speak plainly. Perhaps there is some truth in that. What is your point? You are persuasive. Very well. I will let you live, and you may do what you will with that plaque. I will remain here for a while, and attempt to learn what I can about the foundations of my people's beliefs. Go.
Where was he standing exactly? Ah, over there.
You again. What? Of course, as did...
May fortune smile. Yeah, I could have gone now, but I wanted to see what ways I could actually persuade him. And he doesn't seem like a bad person, but I don't know, maybe he was doing some bad stuff. Oh. Here we go.
You carry the gift of Prometheus in your head.
Heck yeah.
Remarkable. Good to see you again, friend.
Yes, I did.
I enjoyed our chat.
Alright. Now, which way did I use to get out now?
Ah, you've returned.
Not quite. I feel like some games circles crouch and I use it here and it's jump, but some games L3's crouch.
You look well, my Sartorial.
Thanks for the help.
My friend, have you discovered anything about my vanishing offerings? Truly, my imagination runs wild. But if what you say is true,
I'm satisfied with someone being dissatisfied.
my offerings look? Very well. I will trust your judgment, my friend. Now, was there something you wanted?
No, I'm good. Gotta stop him. Give me 1 sec. Tom. Alright, so...
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
I'm sad.
Yeah.
Am I going to die?
Yeah, forget about that.
So, my friend, it's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate...
Okay, let me see what I can get first. Not this.
Deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate.
Alright, here we go.
I'm not supposed to be in... Talk! What business could you possibly have with me? No, now I let the... Oh, aren't you charming? I'm quite sure my husband would seethe with impotent rage if he overheard you say that. I love it. It seems our interests are aligned.
There we go.
I imagine knowing his true identity will give me the leverage I need to manage him appropriately. But first, I need you to do something for me. I want you to bring me some wine. Just one small urn should do it. Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your sweet little pleb head around. So what do you need me to spell out? Let me tell you something about Malleolus. He talks a lot about freedom, but what he doesn't tell you is that he means freedom for men. After all I've done for him, counseling him through his entire election campaign, and he had the audacity to lock me in here. He said it was for my own good, but that my drinking was unbecoming of a lady, let alone the wife of a magistrate. I'll show him unbecoming. Tonight, at his victory party, I'm going to get good and merry, and if he tries to discipline me again, I'll threaten to expose his true identity in front of everyone. I am so looking forward to it. You mean, aside from the fact that I'm locked in this room, because there's barely any left in the city?
Dumb question to me.
In fact, there's only one small urn, as far as I'm aware. And getting it won't be easy. So, you'll help me? Excellent. Now, you'll need to pay a visit to that strumpet Aurelia in her tavern. I expect you'll have to flatter her a bit. If that doesn't work, you might be able to get some advice from Yulia, who's probably still at the shrine of Apollo. I heard they used to be close. They both appreciate the poetry of Sappho of Lesbos, if you get my meaning. Thank you.
Interesting. Maybe I should talk to Lulia first.
Was that... All right.
Cerberus lifts his dribble head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
I forgot if I ticked her off on this run.
Back again. Couldn't stay away, huh? I do, but I'm afraid it's not for sale. It's the last jug in the entire city, so I'm saving it for a romantic occasion. Really? That's your move? Unfortunately for you... What's that supposed to be? The riddle of the Sphinx? I do, but I'm a... Everything? Well, even if you could get into my locked cabinet. Good idea. You had your one and only... All right.
Now I go to her. Yeah, she doesn't really like you being direct. Like, not in that kind of direct. It just seems like trying too hard.
Oh. Really? You're going to give that snake a taste of her own medicine? I'm in. What do you need? Ah, so you need to sweep her off her feet, then? Is that it? I think I can help you with that. As much as it disgusts me to say this, we were sort of involved before she betrayed me. So I know her better than anyone. The thing you need to know about her is this. She's obsessed with money. An ostentatious display of wealth probably wouldn't hurt. One more thing, and I feel dirty saying this. She keeps a journal upstairs in her room, beside her bed. If you could somehow take a look, that might tell you how she thinks. May Nemesis guide you. All right.
Nemesis. Alright, let's see. Let me go back to her. Let me go upstairs. I'm pretty sure I've read her stuff, but I forgot what it says, and maybe it'd be good to have a refresher. It's Horatius.
I love your clothes. So exotic. You stay away from my money.
I'm not taking your money.
Oh, do us all a favour and drink hemlock.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Nice. Boy, she has a lot of money. Dear Diary, today I'm celebrating. I made the easiest 1,000 denarii I've ever made by selling a way out to a desperate fool. Of course, it may not have been the way out she was hoping for, but hemlock still counts. That'll teach her for insulting my hair, and since I did break the golden rule, I may have to try this again sometime. Dear Diary, it worked again. I'm now another 1,000 denarii richer thanks to Ulpius and her separation to escape. Of course, there's very little to spend money on here. Just having it gives me a little thrill, for a brief moment at least. Finally, I have money, something to spend my money on. Malleolus is running for magistrate in the election tomorrow, and he's promised that for a sufficient tribute, I'll be able to move into old Sentius's villa once it's vacated. How he plans to achieve that he wouldn't say, but still, I'd better make sure he wins. God, what a terrible person.
Salve, friend. Oh. You look poor. All right. I'll go.
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the drops of water. Oh, you're here. And I hope I'm not being... There's some... Well, since you bring that up, let's cut to the chase. What are you worth? So you do. And that would make you rich as Croesus on the outside. But down here, it's not worth much. What else have you got?
Ixian turns.
I have that much myself. Maybe if you had at least 10,000, things might have been different. I take back what I said. Let's just forget that ever happened. I do, but I'm... Good idea. You had your one and only... All right. See ya.
How was it now? How far away was this? Okay.
Oh, you're here. And there's something. Well. You know what? We don't need to talk about money. It's so coarse. But enough about that. I want to know all about you. Tell me, who are you hoping will win today's election? Sentius or Malleolus?
Malleolus.
Good answer. Though it's no secret that I'm a Malleolus supporter. So, tell me, what do you like about him? Honey, I'm beginning to think Venus herself sent you to me, because I love the way you think. Here's an idea. How about we head to the baths with some wine I've been saving, and see where it leads? Oh, I see you know how to treat a lady. Here you go.
She used the same line I did, but it was not cool when I said it.
What? What are you talking about? No. Don't give that back. Give it back or you'll break the golden rule. Only so you could carry it to the baths. Think you're clever, do you? Well, you're nothing but a Pusilla Cemetorius Micus. I was just gonna use you for your money.
Oh, beat you to it.
I'll do us all a favor and drink.
That makes me happy. Give her a taste of her own medicine.
Thank you,
For the last time, Daisy.
Here.
You're... Oh, no. Oh.
Citizen.
I think I did, and I kind of figured just because it didn't seem like a combat-heavy game, I think I made a good decision. Going with the faster speed, it's definitely more relevant. Like this, just quicker speed is best.
Salve, friend. Welcome. Ah, another. We've all. I used to lay awake. I still. Please, there was a.
Okay.
Even if I had seen it, and I'm not saying I have, I couldn't in good conscience give it to you. That's all I'll say. Even if I had seen it, and I'm not... All right.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Okay, so she's actually Christian.
No. Orpheus, what are you doing?
That's...
What?
I'm...
Please, help. Thank you.
Yeah. No, don't look. Because you can't.
Sarah has expressed that she would like us to have 3 children.
That's good for her.
Yes.
You know I'm streaming, so I'm glad we got that out.
Yeah, that's why I was looking for your little square.
Indeed.
Well, whoever's watching me, my friend, that's nuts, and she tries to get people to have children.
Yeah. I mean, I guess she plans on watching them all the time, so we can do other stuff too.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Well, you don't... It's... If I back... Oh, but we're still in... Really? Wait.
Nope. You'd be free.
You'd do that for us? A couple of complete strangers. It seems today we're both blessed. This did not turn out how I thought. Thank you, friend. I never thought people like you existed.
Nice.
Thank you. I'll go and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back.
I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend. I'll never forget what you did for us.
What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it. I'm thankful that you're here.
Okay, please tell me about this.
Even if I had seen it. Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose. Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape on a barge. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people, and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across this place. Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's all part of God's plan for me. If you like. Ah, that's a shame.
Let me see what it says about... to visit the secret shrine.
Lovely to see you. I'm afraid not. Although, I did once hear someone gossiping down at Aurelia's tavern about a possible way out. I don't put a lot of stock in such rumors, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose. If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate. I hope it works out. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbours as ourselves, and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and that all of us are born with a tendency towards sin. And that's where I get stuck. Is it true? Are we born with a tendency towards sin? You don't think that's a little naive? I suppose you've never seen what I've seen. Innocent men and women, torn apart in arenas while thousands of Romans look on and cheer. If that's true, then sooner or later, things are going to end badly for all of us down here. Unless, of course, there's some kind of divine intervention. I wish I shared your faith. I'm afraid not. I don't put if that... Oh, I see. Well, that doesn't... Even if what you're doing is disgusting, and it's...
I thought so.
Even if I had seen it. Ah, that's a shame.
Says we don't know the rules. Interesting. I'll be taking your stuff. There we go.
A new face. Oh my, let's read her. Herc, Sissy, and fun. So. As I mentioned, both the problem is, first, Proserpine, it is. The gods are a miracle. If the problem is, how do... Leaving that aside for a moment. Truly? Then again, I suppose, can you tell me more? Fascinating. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her. Tell me. Truly?
There's nearly everyone here.
I see. Then it seems you have made a great sacrifice for all of us, friend. I admire your compassion. Truly. Thank you. But unfortunately, I'm afraid your only other option will be to confront you-know-who. May Fortuna guide you.
I gotta give her the wine.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored.
I'm not supposed to be in here. Tall. Barge into my villa and offer me wine. The question is...
Yeah.
It seems Bacchus smiles on me once again. And I believe I have just the thing you're looking for. Some time ago, I'll happily show it to you.
Here we go.
Thank you. Here's the letter.
For a time, I despaired at the thought of being trapped here for the rest of my life, and then I met you and discovered that as long as I am with you, I am exactly where I should be. Mere words cannot express my affection for you, and so I will perform a grand gesture in your honor. I will become the city's magistrate, so that I may govern with wisdom and strength, with you by my side.
Now, perhaps you can tell me who Quinctius really is.
What?
He's... Oh no, that's... quite a lot more serious than I imagined. I only wanted some leverage over him, not to destroy him. Give me that immediately. Nobody else must know. What? No. You tricked me. You mendacious little stirkers. It was a lie of a mission. You were planning this all along and you deliberately concealed it. May Jupiter cut you down. I curse you. I curse your life and mind and memory. May you be unable to walk or eat or drink. May this drag you to the depths. This is outrageous. Do I need to call Domitius?
I can always get another copy. Well, I need to talk to her again to do that.
Doesn't let anyone in here without a hefty tribute, so you must... My name is... You... And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler. Nothing more. Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish. Unlikely, because it simply isn't true. Why? So, it finally caught up with me. I suppose that makes you... what? One of Nero's assassins? So, you're not going to kill me?
Please have one dead bondage. Oh, so I didn't really even give him 2,000.
So much work and money. Oh, well, if I do it, you'd let me live? Fine. Ruling this cesspit of a city would have been beneath me anyway. I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal and release those two from debt bondage. There, you got what you wanted. Now, please, leave my villa and never speak to me again.
I want to see this.
Domitius, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
I've made a decision to release Julia and Ulpius and withdraw from the election. I want you to go and inform Equitia.
Sir? Are you under duress, sir?
I've just had a change of heart.
But you were on track to be magistrate, sir. All that work, all that money, wasted.
Those are my orders. Carry them out.
As you wish, sir.
Shalom. Sentius, I suppose. I'd have to be insane to vote for Malleolus. You mean where am I from and all that? But when I was a child, I moved to Rome with my family, Romanized my name and spent most of my life in the Jewish district of Trans-Tiberim, across the Tiber from the main city. That's where I was when the fires broke out. Everyone was running toward the river and every road leading out of Rome was in several hours down the Appian Way. I
gotta...
A lot of good it did me. And that family. I sometimes wonder what... Alright.
Sorry to rush that. But, I want to see if I can find... Where do they go? Where do they go?
Citizen.
Are they again? Well, Malleolus has withdrawn for some unknown reason. Why do you ask? Oh, what a good idea. He is a virtuous and decent man after all. All of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course. Well, you're not a citizen, but if it's any consolation, there are... by using whatever gifts the gods gave you. Certainly. See you again.
Sorry, I'm still... Was there something... All right.
Where are you, Galerius? Ah, yes.
Salve again, my sister. Oh, and I'm in the running for magistrate. Feeling kind of nervous, but I'm hoping it'll all be worth it when I order Dooley's release. I just hope I'll have the votes I need. Now, what's on your mind? All right, friend.
I mean, she seems on the level, so I guess he really is on the level. Because I do wonder, like... Oh, like, are these guys really as good as they seem? I mean, you always wonder that. You ask people who they're voting for.
Galerius, definitely. All right. Nice to talk.
Greetings and salutations. Greetings. I'm George. My Galerius. Did you know he saved that? But of course. I hope that...
Well, I feel like... Who's he gonna vote for?
Hello there, Fred. Well, I'll take your word. Now you're talking, I'm interested. Oh, that's a little excessive, Dave. All right, but I'm gonna need... Well, how do I know I can trust... I suppose you're right. Here's your money. Now, the location of that boat.
Do you feed the four-legged kids?
Yes.
What? But I already knew that, you imbecile. Everyone knows that. I can't take that golden bow because stealing from the goddess in her own shrine would break the golden rule. You promised to tell me where I could get one of my own. What is this? Some kind of joke? I don't believe this is happening. Don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me.
Hello? Hello? Do you love? Well, like, yeah. Bye-bye.
Salve.
What is it, citizen? Not that it's any of your business. All right?
Oi! What now? Whatever.
On your best behavior, I trust.
Bow you have there. Just like Diana's.
Man, I got a lot of money.
Shiny.
Trying to think. mean, he'd be voting for Sentius, but it seems like everyone's voting for Valerius. I hope.
I hope you're coping. I hope you're coping.
Is he back up here or did he go down there? I hurt myself. Maybe neither of them are here?
Salve, friend. Lovely to see you again. Even if I had seen it, and I'm not saying I have,
I hate how hard it is to find people sometimes, but I guess it's better than just having markers all over the place.
Valerius. Sorted out my rheumatism. Fine. I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common sense of other people.
I've known the feeling I've lived through a pen. I love it.
Then you know what I'm talking about. I mean, all these people just rumble along like nothing's wrong. While we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here. Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves. You've been warned. I don't know. But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are
Yeah, because they look at you when you go out of view.
Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it. That doesn't help me. See you around.
Good man. Let's see.
That's a...
Greetings and salutations. Hello.
I gotta ask you about the other one?
And in a city full of my name,
Oh, yeah.
But the place. I hope.
Fortune smile on you, brother.
Citizen.
Shiny.
Salve.
Where is she?
Are they?
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Oh, I wish Horatius would... Oh. Oh, really? I can see why she worked so...
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
He remembers everything.
We have... I must... Is that about... Seems rather... Thank you. I'll be...
I'd like to tell her to at least call the election, and then we can do stuff. Maybe I have to search her out. Yeah.
Ave. It must be completed by dusk. It'll be between sentient. Why do you ask? As I said, I'm planning to hold it before dusk. Yes. I have overheard some rather unpleasant arguments. The last thing we need here is additional conflict. Very well. I'll get things started right away. Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
We one vote for Sentius. I feel like I don't really know what the taverns are, or caverns are. Maybe I have seen it and I just don't know. I didn't ask this guy who he was voting for, Decius, but it looks like there's enough votes to override him. I don't know who he's voting for. I guess we'll see, because maybe if it's like tied or something crazy like that, I can have Galerius give this guy 2,000. Should have enough.
Citizens, we have a great body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Decius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision.
There we go.
Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helva.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you've put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
This is a regular guy.
Ah, you've returned. Do you have... Nothing really. It won't be long before the Golden Rule is broken and everything will be reset. I dare say it won't affect me in the slightest. Thank you. I'll be...
Leave me be. Leave me be.
Couldn't even come to vote.
I hope you have a good reason for flouting my weapons ban.
What Galerius wants.
I bet Galerius only won by bribing
I'll speak with you soon.
Where was my bribe?
Hello? I'm Dooley.
Yep.
Oh. Thank you. You're a big helper. I was locked up, but they let me out again. I'm so happy. You can have my shiny plaque if you want, and maybe you can help me find my treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me, and he said he always would. But before that, he gave me a key to the cisterns. Please help me find it. Oh, thank you. I hope you find it. In the cisterns. Way up high. Oh, look how baby it is. this treasure.
Funny.
I could see it from myself. So,
Nice.
and it's just lying out here in the open. Maybe nobody wants it anymore. Maybe no one will mind if I just take it.
Don't you dare.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the
That's awesome. That's funny.
Impossible!
I feel bad though. Like I don't want Galerius to go like that. You know.
Salve, friend. Oh. You? Alright, let me... What? Are you... You're serious, aren't you? I doubt Domitius will let me talk to him, but I'll make sure he passes on the message. I'll go, but once...
Oh, you're... And, there's some... Well... But enough of... Good answer. Honey, here's an idea. Oh, here you go. What? Was you... No.
Exceed turn.
I was...
Okay, well, no different dialogue, it seems. That's okay. I don't get why this person's impossible to move.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
I was just doing what the new guy told me.
I don't understand. How did... Never mind. Thank you so
Just
much.
what he did he's still not bearing weight on that leg.
Yeah, I know, he's not doing anything with the leg. It seems strange that apparently is causing him not to put weight on his leg.
Well, before it was the other one that was bad, and now it's this one.
Well, in any event, we just got to, we gotta heal him up, but...
It looks like bruised today.
Well, I don't see how, because he's just been chilling out. I saw him laying down in the newspaper.
Still in it.
So cute.
I asked him what he was doing, and he just rolled around and meowed.
I want him to be better. I want him to be out, you know? But got to go next weekend for his appointment. And then, I just hope that leg heals up soon. If it doesn't, I have to take him back into Arrogate. I might as well just get him neutered there.
Yeah.
Because he'll be under...
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to avoid continuing to knock him out, but how long have we had him in there now? A week at least?
Over a week. Because we had him in there before we even sent him there to the clinic, so it's been like 10 days or 11 days. Actually, I think it was last week Monday. Well, no. We might be approaching 2 weeks.
No.
Yeah.
Next week will be 2 weeks.
No, because we got him on Friday. We didn't get him last Friday.
But he hasn't been like treated. So like Monday or Tuesday, right? Because like we caught him, but then like they cleaned him another day.
But remember, late January is when we took him in. So he's, besides any day at the clinic, he's been in there for 2 weeks.
I don't know at what point he's supposed to start bearing weight again.
I don't know either.
Because he seems like he's not at all. I don't know if it's just because he feels safe, that he doesn't have to.
Like, it just seems weird because nothing's broken, and you would think whatever that cut is, that shouldn't make him not put weight on it, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's see. I don't get why this is still here. What's the Great Temple? Is this the Great Temple? I don't even know what the Great Temple is. You know, I thought the cistern... I thought I already went there. I wish I knew what the locked door was.
On your best behavior, I trust.
That's funny. That's really sad, honestly.
Fear is proof.
me just double check.
Yeah.
Is the cistern, is it just the area behind where Scintilla is? Because let me see what happens when I ask him about that again.
We're finally in it. Is that a... See... I think it... Thank you. If you're snooping around in my possessions, you're wasting your time.
I'm not.
Oh, another one fresh out of the baths, I take it.
I think it's
On your best behavior,
there.
I trust.
Citizen.
I mean, that's where she is, and I've been there. It was one of the first big places I went to. You know, it's funny, the last playthrough, so it's supposed to be above the Great Temple. The Ulpius, or whatever, he's like, Galerius saved his life, and I'm the one who did. So it doesn't look like they had a different dialogue option for that. So this gets me a straight shot in, which is nice, but it makes sense. That's why he was arrested. Man, it's so weird though. Like he was arrested so he couldn't find Scintilla, but he's so dumb he wouldn't even know what he's found.
Be careful.
Let's see. So, I have to find the cavern.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
I'll be right back. Hello. Don't look, but I'm using the restroom. Yeah, you do, but I do it too. In fact, I should open the door and pee on you while you're in the shower. Because it's sterile, doesn't matter.
Isn't the great temple majestic? A new face. Oh, Ma, we don't have much to... Hercules was a Sisyphus and finer, so it's... Shh, as I said... Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand. So, who knows? Perhaps your name. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored, and if you could recover... It's the towering... You'll find them all over Rome. However, this one is unusual.
Don't believe
in that
a word
each of
they
the
tell
4...
you.
That means you'll need to recover 4. Good question. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be. And there's only one. There's a cult in Rome. They've been known to start fires. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've... But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps. May 4th.
Wish I could remember. Let's see. Where was the thing that actually told me where this was?
Citizen?
That's my room. Leave before I call Horatius. Oh, another one fresh out of the baths, I take it.
I wish I could remember where that note was.
Whatever are you wearing?
Citizen?
How come you're without a weapon and I'm not?
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Deep in the cave. It's a cave behind the theaters, right at the first fork, and then right at the second. There we go. I'm assuming the theater is where we have the election, because I don't see anything else that looks like a theater. I'm assuming for them they mean like amphitheater or something. Okay.
Isn't the Great Temple majestic?
I'll give you one.
I need you to look at something.
I will.
They?
Don't believe a word they tell you.
I mean, yeah, this must be the shrine, but I don't know how to get there. Was this a back way? Let me see. It says, deep in the caves behind the theater, turn right at the first fork and again at the second. There we go. Okay, have that now. I gotta talk to her again.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
How come you're without a weapon and I'm not?
That's the villa. Don't need to go in there.
Isn't the great temple?
Salve, friend. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. That's good. If you're not on edge, you've not been paying attention. Well, we've all been where you are now. I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out? What is the Golden Rule, and who or what is responsible for it? I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned. Even if I had seen it, and I'm afraid I don't put if that... Oh. I'd look it on the... and that... If that's true, then...
Cat's being weird.
I
already did this one.
If... I'm afraid I don't... If... Oh. I don't put it if that doesn't... I hope it...
What are you doing? Oh, she's behind the TV. What are you doing?
Okay. Wanna come sit with me on the chair? Quit being naughty.
There you go. Silly kid. And right to the back you go. Weirdo.
Here, in this place, I used to... if you like. Please keep that... There was a terrible fire. Oh, thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. Even if I had seen it, and I'm...
Prompt her.
What you did. Even if I had seen it. Please, there was a terrible fire.
How the heck do you prompt her?
Be careful who you trust.
again. It must be... It'll be... Why do you... Certainly. Certainly. I'll admit, you do seem different to anyone I've ever met. So, but first, the problem... it looks... If you... It's... All Romans tried... May 4th...
Wish I knew. I think I've already been through this. Oh. Another last battle of wine. Interesting. So many bottles of wine I could have given her. I know how to make her go. Interesting. Okay.
Salve again, friend. How it... you're a... Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get... Oh. Oh. No, I'm going to keep you... Oh.
Alright. See how this goes. Wow, I can't believe I'm almost like done with the game.
I hope you're coping.
his name. Pluto. So this looks Egyptian.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will. My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know? It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey. My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive. No. Long ago I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that. This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal.
So that is Proserpina.
Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumu-Tabal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions. As you wish. That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing. That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious.
How creepy.
Suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, the silent golden sentinels. I give your kind
I'm in a big place in the story, that's why I don't want to.
ample warning about my law. And when you disobey,
What?
and you always disobey, you force
He goes by 4 names.
bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
I've always lived my life that way.
For you, perhaps. Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example? I have seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done to others, however they may be affected by it. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps the ambiguities of your primitive language. Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine statue. Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon? Pathetic. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Yes, of course Malleolus is wrong. Okay.
Salve, friend. Mine. Oh. You? Put. All right. I'll.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Allow me to introduce myself. As you know, but the one, and I've been, and what is that they will first. I would recognize that anywhere, and yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it? You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
It's really crazy that Sentius keeps his memories, but the god of the underworld doesn't. What?
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone. I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Proserpina was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this. If I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend. Because despicable creatures like you have the best I can do is I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. And as for you, aware you will be separated from the rest. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready? You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Well, here I am. Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years? What? Oh, I see. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought... I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody... You go on.
So I wonder how different this will be. And is this 3 or is this 4? Kinda seems like 4, but I guess we'll see.
You're back! Oh, why don't you... Really? Ow!
Kinda lost track of time and there was a...
Sounds like quite a story. You two look exhausted.
Sounds good to me.
And you?
I didn't ask her, though. Or tell her about who she was. Maybe it's just the same information.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read about your trial in the news. Congratulations on your acquittal. Still, I'm sorry you had to go through all that. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Oh, hello.
It's you.
You're finally here. Remember me? It's a crazy story.
Funny.
After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life. I know! I can't believe my luck either.
Yeah, go, dude.
But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there. Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Oh, awesome.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable. Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us. Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself. See you at the wedding, I hope.
Hello, I'm Dooley. Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it. Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells
stories, eh?
Yeah, they're fun. I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth. Bye-bye.
You're the Oracle, right? Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation. Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about. I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
Yep.
I couldn't agree more. Ugh, someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it?
Florida?
Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
Oh, a Nigerian prince. Oh.
Really? Huh. I feel better already. Thank you. You too! If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
Aww.
I hope so.
You are here. It's nice. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So... I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time. You too, don't be a stranger.
It's really nice that that's a happy ending for all the work you did.
Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting Centilla
I mean, there's something wrong with this dude.
So, thank you. Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever. Thanks. I'm living up north. In Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC.
Oh god.
So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out. And his life along with it.
Ooh.
You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Perhaps. And you. Farewell.
So the bad people really got what was coming to them.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again. He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time.
Ooh.
Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me. Meh, I try not to think about him at all. Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere. You too. See you around.
A lot of people to talk to.
Good evening.
Some soiree, innit?
Please give up the furniture.
You must be the Oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Dacius. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you. Most gracious of you. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the Oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend? Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
See.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm gonna make a bloody fortune. Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
Magnificent museum, is it not?
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia. I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure. I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night. Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
Feels like a life well spent.
Oh, it really is.
Well, that's the thing. She's enjoying herself. Why not?
Most. Thank you.
Aww.
You too.
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius. I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful. I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
And one with words.
You too, my friend.
I take it you're the Oracle everybody's talking about. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. We have. I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your Catabasis to thank for it. I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again. My sincere thanks once again.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it. I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber, not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor.
Good for
After
you.
you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him. Thank you. That means a lot. And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
Of course.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
Good evening. Greetings. Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium. Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence. I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again. And you. Farewell, friend.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle. You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place, and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous. For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun. Indeed. Thank you, Oracle.
Hello there.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine. Thanks. You too.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake, I'll be forever in your debt. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope? And missed out on all of this. So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way. Sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you. You too.
Nice to meet you.
What did you say your name was? How mean. Why would I say that to
By
him?
Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff. Huh. Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant. I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time. You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
So wait, does he enjoy Virgil's company like that?
So nice to finally
That's
meet
for him
you.
lashing out because
I've
he's
heard
keeping
so
it
much
inside?
about you. I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there, and for helping Rufus come to terms with himself.
Yeah.
He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow. I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in a beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are. You too. As Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show
You know,
you
for
around.
all the problems we
It's
have
the least we
now,
could
and, you know, we'll probably look back in 500 years and think, my god, how did we tolerate all these things we tolerated in the 21st century? But that also puts in perspective, there are a lot of things now that he doesn't take for granted being pushed forward in this time.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to.
Karen?
You know her.
What?
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day. And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city? Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Aww. What a happy darn ending. All the voices I just heard, because I remember it's funny, when she was talking I was hearing all those voices and I'm like, well, they're not going to show us a whole crowd of people doing whatever because they only had 3 people working on this, but aww. We hope you enjoyed the Forgotten City. We'd love to make even better games in the future, and you can help out by recommending the Forgotten City to a friend or writing a review. The more people play our games, the more we can level up. And if you'd like to be the first to know, please connect with us here. Modern Storyteller Games. Heck yeah! But I want to see what the worst endings were. Well done. I really enjoyed this one. You know, I got an ending too. I was a little sad that Scintilla couldn't thank me in person. We couldn't speak. This seemed like a very optimistic game. Like, it took them 4 years, and it released during a pandemic. And I kind of feel like it was... I kind of feel like it connects in a way where if you try to be good and you try to help, the good will rise to the top. and the bad people will truly get what's coming to them. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it works that way, but at least in the realm of this game, the good will prevail if you try, and if you work hard, you get that good ending. I mean, I'm totally down for endings that are sad, or ambiguous, or, you know, stuff like that, but it was nice to do that. It reminds me of Mass Effect in the sense that in Mass Effect, it really doesn't feel like what you did mattered at the end, and it's a discussion that I don't really feel like, you know, going into in detail, especially if you haven't played the game. But this was good. I mean, this really felt like, hey, if you try, you're gonna do good for people, and they're gonna recognize you for it. And I'm down for that. Well done. I really enjoyed this.